Want to know how to get a driving license in Canada? Welcome to our comprehensive guide, where we'll navigate you through the essential steps to obtaining your Canadian driving license. This little card is more than just a permit to drive. It's your ticket to freedom, independence, and endless road trips across the beautiful landscapes of Canada. The process might seem daunting at first, but fret not. We're here to simplify it for you. It all starts with understanding the eligibility criteria, followed by obtaining a learner's license. Once you have that in hand, you'll need to practice for the road test, and upon passing, you're just a few steps away from holding your very own driving license. Remember, every province has slightly different rules and regulations, but the overall procedure remains largely the same. So, are you ready to dive into the details? Let's get started. Before we get into the process, you need to ensure you meet the eligibility criteria. So, let's dive into what these criteria are, shall we? First and foremost, age matters. You must be at least 16 years old to apply for a driving license in Canada. In some provinces, though, you might need to be older, so it's essential to check the specific age requirement for your province. Your residency status also plays a significant role. You must be a resident of Canada to obtain a driving license. It could be that you're a Canadian citizen, a permanent resident, or an expatriate with appropriate documentation, such as a work or study permit. But remember, visitors or tourists are typically not eligible. Now let's talk about the health aspect. You must be in good health, both physically and mentally, to drive safely. This means having good eyesight and being free from any medical conditions that may impair your ability to operate a vehicle. If you have any health-related concerns, it's best to consult with a healthcare provider to get the green light. And don't forget about your driving history. If you have a previous driving license from another country, it can be beneficial. However, if you have a record of serious traffic violations or driving infractions, it could potentially affect your eligibility. Lastly, you need to pass a knowledge test about the rules of the road and a vision test. These are mandatory for all applicants, regardless of age or previous driving experience. For the most accurate and updated information, always refer to the official government website, which is www.canada.ca. It provides comprehensive details about the eligibility criteria, along with other relevant information about getting a driving license in Canada. Once you meet these criteria, you're ready to start the process. Remember, obtaining a driving license is not just about the freedom to drive. It's also about understanding and respecting the rules of the road for everyone's safety. So, take your time, prepare well, and you'll be on your way to becoming a responsible driver in no time. The first step in obtaining a driving license in Canada is to get a learner's license. Let's dive into the process. The journey to your learner's license begins with studying for the knowledge test. This test assesses your understanding of the rules of the road, traffic signs, and safe driving practices. You'll want to familiarize yourself with the driver's handbook for your specific province or territory, as regulations can vary. These handbooks are usually available online on the official provincial or territorial transportation department websites. To aid your study, there are also numerous online resources available. Websites like drivingtest.ca offer practice tests for every province and territory. Practice tests are a great way to get a feel for the kinds of questions you'll be asked and to test your knowledge before the real deal. Once you feel ready, it's time to book your knowledge test. This can typically be done online, over the phone, or in person at your local service center. Remember, it's essential to book your test in advance as slots can fill up quickly. Depending on the province or territory, you might be able to take the test in different languages, so be sure to check the options available to you. On the day of the test, make sure to bring the necessary identification documents and be prepared to pay the test fee. The test is typically computerized and consists of multiple choice questions. Don't stress if you don't pass the first time. Many people don't. You can usually retake the test after a certain waiting period. Passing the knowledge test earns you your learner's license. This license allows you to practice driving under the supervision of a fully licensed driver. Keep in mind, though, that there are restrictions associated with a learner's license, like not being able to drive alone or at night. It's important to familiarize yourself with these restrictions to ensure your practice driving is both legal and safe. Congratulations, you're now one step closer to your driving license. With your learner's license in hand, you're now ready to start practicing for the road test. And indeed, practice is paramount when it comes to mastering the art of driving. Not only does it help you develop the technical skills needed to operate a vehicle, but it also enables you to become comfortable with the rules of the road and the dynamics of traffic. When you're practicing with a learner's license in Canada, there are specific rules you must adhere to. For instance, you must always have a fully licensed driver who has a minimum of 4 years of driving experience in the passenger seat whenever you're behind the wheel. This rule is in place to ensure that you have a seasoned driver by your side who can guide you and take control of the vehicle if necessary. In addition, it's important to remember that driving is not just about operating the vehicle. It's also about understanding and respecting the rules of the road. This includes everything from observing speed limits and using signals correctly, to understanding right-of-way rules and knowing how to react in different driving conditions. So how do you practice effectively? Well, one of the best ways is to drive in a variety of situations and weather conditions. Start by driving in low-traffic areas to build your confidence. Then gradually move on to busier roads and highways. Practice driving in the rain, snow, and at night. This will help you become a well-rounded driver who is ready for anything that comes your way. Another effective practice technique is to simulate the road test. Have your licensed passenger act as the examiner and ask them to give you instructions as they would on the actual test. This can help familiarize you with the test format and reduce any test day nerves. Lastly, don't rush the process. Learning to drive is not a race. Take the time you need to feel confident and safe behind the wheel. Remember, practice makes perfect. The more you practice, the better prepared you'll be for the road test. You've practiced, and now you feel ready for the road test. Yes, you've come a long way, and this is the moment you've been working toward. So how do you go about booking your road test? Well, it's quite simple. Most provinces in Canada offer online booking systems. For example, in Ontario, you can use the Drive Test website, while in British Columbia, you can book through ICBC. Be sure to have your learner's license number handy, as you'll need it to book the test. The road test is designed to evaluate your ability to drive safely and effectively. You can expect to be tested on various driving skills such as parallel parking, changing lanes, and navigating intersections. Remember, the examiner isn't looking for perfection, but rather competence and safety. As you embark on the road test, remember to stay calm. Nerves can sometimes get the best of us, but remember, the examiner is only there to ensure you're safe on the road. Use the techniques you've learned during your practice sessions, and don't be afraid to ask the examiner to repeat any instructions if you're unsure. What are some of the criteria for passing the test? Firstly, you must demonstrate a good understanding of road rules and signs. Secondly, you must show that you can control the vehicle under various conditions. Thirdly, you must exhibit a safe and courteous attitude towards other road users. Lastly, remember that serious mistakes such as speeding, failing to stop at a stop sign, or causing a dangerous situation will result in an automatic fail. After the test, the examiner will provide you with feedback on your performance. If you pass, congratulations! You're now one step closer to getting your driver's license. If you don't pass, don't be discouraged. You can take the test again after waiting a certain period, depending on your province's regulations. Passing the road test brings you even closer to your driving license. Remember, the journey towards becoming a licensed driver is a marathon, not a sprint. It's about growing and learning, becoming more confident and skilled on the road. So keep practicing, stay positive, and before you know it, you'll be holding that shiny new driver's license in your hands. You've passed the road test, and now it's time to get your driving license. After acing your road test, the next step is to pay the licensing fee. This fee varies across provinces, so be sure to check the specific cost for your region. Once you've paid, the examiner will give you a temporary license to use while you wait for your official card to arrive. This temporary license is fully valid, so you can start driving right away. Now let's talk about waiting times. Typically, your official license should arrive in your mailbox within 4 to 6 weeks. If it hasn't arrived after 6 weeks, contact your local driving authority. They'll help you track down your license or issue a new one if necessary. Remember, your driving license is a big responsibility. It's more than just a card. It's your ticket to freedom and independence, but it also means you have a duty to keep the roads safe. And there you have it. You're now a licensed driver in Canada. Congratulations!